Hi, it's me, Buck. We're back after a vacation. I'm here with my friend Amy. I am someone who has been seeing a psychiatrist since fourth grade with obsessive compulsive disorder, and I have been with a therapist, psychiatrist through the present day. Finally diagnosed with bipolar. Medication helps me, makes me a little dizzy, but anyway, here's my friend Amy, who's a therapist.
Hey, I've been a therapist for the past 35 years. I'm pretty much retired right now, but I still have therapist brain, so I still think that way. Um, and I was wondering what your dysfunction was for this week, Buck.
Um, so this medication, I did a another audition on. I did two on Friday, um, and I'm taking medication to stop the tremors and stuff like that. Um, but during the audition, which is good that he cut me off here because my hand was just like that, and I had to have a piece of paper, and it was doing that. And he said, "Don't worry about it. I'll just cut it off," and stuff like that. So when I did the full body thing, I had to really hold my hands. So it comes and goes. I have medication, and she upped the medication, but I just don't think it's really working. And you know,
Look,
the other dysfunction, it's the medication where I feel weak or I'm off balance. I'm just off
mm,
balance and stuff like that. And then I have days where it's great. Then I'm just
yeah,
fine. So I don't know what it
maybe,
is.
who
I don't
knows?
know what it is. What was your
I don't know.
dysfunction?
Stupid things. So I was at family vacation, and we had a pool at the house that we stayed at, and it was great. And I spent the whole time in my swimming suit with skinned knees because I kept falling down, and I had like both my knees were skinned up. I looked like a little kid or something.
Yeah.
So and I didn't have a tan because I don't really tan, and so it just looks like I'm like in fourth grade or something, except I'm old. So anyway, but that's I just have to quit falling. I
Yeah.
always tell my neurologist always says, "Have you had any serious falls?" And I'm like, no, it's not necessarily always true, but
Yeah.
I've never broken anything. I've only skinned knees and my bruised my dignity quite a bit.
Right.
So, but I'm trying not to fall.
Yeah.
That's my dysfunction is I fall all the time. It's
Right.
bad.
Right.
So anyway,
I watched a movie the other night called Night Swim. It's a horror movie about a pool. It sounds ridiculous, but it actually was really scary.
yeah,
And the family moves there because the father um, needs a pool to exercise in because the father is a
uh-huh.
famous baseball player who gets MS. He's getting MS.
Oh,
So, like, his
yeah,
hand doesn't work like it should to hold a baseball. He walks a little, and the doctor's like, and he's doing all this stuff and taking this medication. And the doctor says, "You're still not getting better." And she said, "And you won't get
yeah,
better. Now it's progressed to the point where you're not going to get better." And she said,
right,
"Well, I have a pool now." She goes, "Good. You can swim. You can do all of this stuff to fight it, but it's not going to get better. It's going to get worse." So, of course, this
right.
pool is fed by a magical spring, which
Oh,
makes him
great.
better. Yeah, which makes him better, but there's evil beings in the pool.
Yeah,
So I
ah,
thought of you,
yeah.
not because of the evil
Oh,
being,
you're right.
because
Okay, yeah.
all of a
Yeah,
sudden he was
cool. Yeah,
able to like throw a
yeah,
baseball, hit the, walk around and stuff
yeah,
like that. But I
yeah,
thought that's
yeah.
interesting because then I thought to myself, geez, you know what? I haven't seen a movie that I can recall where someone
Yeah.
had a mess.
Yeah. I don't I know like in the West Wing, remember that TV show? I think
Yeah,
he was supposed to have the president was supposed to have MS, but you didn't see it really. I mean, you
yeah,
saw him get shots once in a while or whatever, but you didn't see the progression. So, but mine is definitely, I used to be able to kind of waddle around without a mobility device, but now I like
yeah.
can't even, I have to hold on to something at all times or I will fall down.
Right.
So it's really a drag. And actually, the last time I saw the neurologist, he said something about you can have there's different kinds of MS. So there's remitting relapsing, which is what most people have, which is when you have an episode, you get better, you have an episode, it progresses, but it's
Right.
slowly progressive, and you do have moments where you're better. So that's kind of what I have. And then you can have benign MS, which is when you have one or two episodes and then it just goes away, which I definitely don't have that. And then you can have primary progressive MS, which is when you just don't have exacerbations, you just get worse and worse and worse, and it just progresses. Then
Right.
you can have something called secondary progressive, which is when you go from having one of the other types, not primary, from having like remitting relapsing to having primary progressive. So it's called secondary progressive because it wasn't the initial showing. So my doctor said he wasn't sure if I had that. I don't think I do because my last MRI showed no new lesions, which is what happens. You get
Right.
lesions on
Right.
your island, you know. So knock on wood, I don't have that. It was. I just had a bad last year was so bad. I had so many horrible things I had to be in the hospital for.
Right.
So, um, they kind of like made it progress a little bit. So that's all. I just worry all the time that it's going to go into secondary progressive, but I don't think it has because I don't have new lesions. So therefore,
Yeah. Well, that's
uh,
really good. That's
yeah,
really good.
it's good not to have new lesions. Yeah,
I wish there was
but
a
it's
way.
definitely progressive.
I wish there was a way to remove the lesions if that would help.
Yeah, I don't think you can't put a band-aid on your myelin. Yeah, it would be great.
Yeah.
There's a lot of disease, a lot of the uh, neurological autoimmune diseases like ALS and Alzheimer's. It's about lesions. It's
Yeah.
just how it appears or what
Yeah.
happens to it. So
Yeah.
yeah, it would be great if they could somehow go in and erase all that. And I do think they are working on being able to replace your myelin, actually, or to repair your myelin. I think once you have the damage that's where it's scarred up so badly, I don't think that they could do anything about that.
Right.
I mean, the lesions initially are just places where it's like, where it's irritated, basically. And then it's kind of like anything that, like if you have a sore that never goes away, when it finally does go away, you're more likely to have a scar, So that's
Yeah.
that's what it is. It's like the lesions stay and then they scar the tissue and
Yeah.
then, there's no way to like repair that really.
Yeah.
So, but they're working on a lot of stuff all the time. That's
Yeah.
that's why you don't. Hmm?
I
So
saw
what?
um, a news thing on Alzheimer's, and there's a new medication they're trying out, which is to people who are just diagnosed. Um, and
Yeah,
there's now blood tests to pre-diagnose. But the this woman was talking, and the drug removed the plaque on her brain. It removed like 95% of the plaque
that's really good.
on her brain.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
she's very
That's
hopeful.
really
So
good.
they're doing more tests
Yeah,
and stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
All of those things they're related. So usually one will sort of lead to some other research for some of the other autoimmune diseases like
yeah.
that. So
Oh, sure.
hopefully,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
not my lifetime because I'm like old, but
Yeah.
eventually for people who have it, hope
Yeah.
for a cure.
All right. So today
Anyway,
we wanted to talk about family and as we get older, what they mean to us, and like me, who's estranged from my family, uh, but Amy, who's very close, and how they play a role in our lives today. So, Amy, you were just on vacation with your
yeah,
entire family. So, you want
yeah.
to
Well,
tell us about
yeah.
that? You do it every year.
You know what? This is what happened was during the pandemic, we were all pretty isolated from each other. We couldn't because I don't live in the same town as my family, and none of us do. So we started to do Zoom every Friday. We had a Zoom, and it was my mom and my dad who was alive at the time, and my brother and sister and their spouses, and all of our children. So my kid and his partner, and my nephew and his partner, and my other two nephews that weren't partnered up at the time. And so we all just kind of met every week, and my mom and dad started to write these letters of their like history, you know. So every week we would have a letter from my mom and my dad that would talk about like their just memories and history and stuff, and it became this really cool thing. And they all kept they all got hard copies. The nephews got hard copies, and they would take turns reading them, and so they all have their hard copies now of that. So, but then then we said during the summer, why don't we rent a house and just go and have a vacation together? Because we were all we all got tested, we were negative for COVID, so we all just went to the first year we went to a place in Arkansas, and then it became a tradition, and now it's there's traditions within the tradition. So we do Christmas in July every year where we buy each other presents, and we do, we do the just pick a present and then we can steal it.
Right.
We play that game. And then, so we do that. That's a tradition. And then the first year, I guess, or the second year, my dad, the joke was always that my dad drank Old Crow whiskey. That was his drink. And it's horrible stuff. If you ever had it, it's totally like nastiest, cheapest, nastiest whiskey. He loved it. And so he would always like bring that and give that for a present, Old Crow. So the crow became sort of our like, family symbol in a way. So Alfie, who's an artist, my son-in-law, who's an artist, made a felt crow. And it's all, it's got all the details and everything. And so my nephew got it in his gift exchange. And then he said, okay, the tradition is going to be that whoever has the crow has to hide it somewhere. And then whoever finds it gets to keep it for the year. And then they have to hide it. And so that's been a tradition now. So now everybody goes and looks for the crow, like almost, after everybody's there. And whoever has it, we know that they're there. We all go looking for the crow. And so my sister had it last year. So she had a bag of veggie straws, and they opened the bottom of the veggie straw bag and they put the crow inside the veggie straw bag and then resealed it. They had a resealer thing. So, and we were looking everywhere and nobody could find it. And then finally somebody opened that bag. If it would have been a bag of potato chips or something like that, it would have been good, but they were veggie straws and nobody wanted those. So finally somebody opened it and found it in there. But it took forever. Beth kept saying it's somewhere everybody could find, because I was go,
Yeah.
don't hide it on a different floor or high up or somewhere that I couldn't find it, because that's not fair. So and she goes, people have touched it. I know people, and we were like, what are you talking about? It's got to be inside something. So we were looking in boxes and bags, and no, it was in a sealed bag of chips, basically. So anyway, it's just fun. We have a good time, and the other part of it is we all get along. We all enjoy each other's company.
Yeah.
We all do our own
That's,
thing. Sometimes we're all hanging out at the same time. Sometimes we're off, somebody takes a nap, somebody goes to the store for a beer or whatever. And, we all are just tolerant, and we just like each other. We enjoy each other's company. And I know that there are a lot of families that do, but there's an awful lot of families
yeah.
that don't too.
Yeah.
That just could
My,
not, couldn't do
my,
it.
the holidays with my siblings and my parents were just awful. I mean, my sister would talk about everybody out loud, and she was very nasty. And my mother would be very unstable, so she would have these fits, and you could see my father just kind of ducking his head like he didn't want to get involved with it. Um, and my
Right.
oldest brother was fine, and my brother that's a year and a half older was just volatile. So it was a really nasty kind of thing. And uh, the last time I went home was for Christmas, and my mother made a big outburst and a big scene and stuff like that, and told me that I ruin everything, and that it was just so. I got um, a ride to St. Louis airport, and my brother who's a year and a half older, and his girlfriend, and he was saying stuff like faggot, and do you think you're going to hell, faggot, and blah blah blah. And his girlfriend, really came after him.
Good.
She's, I don't want you talking like that. I don't. believe, I think that everybody has a right to be who they are and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, yeah, but so I got to the airport. I found out later, um, I don't know who from, maybe my oldest brother, that the girlfriend dumped him the minute she got
I
out.
don't blame her.
She dumped him.
Yeah.
So yeah, she dumped him, and the good news is, when I got to the airport. This is Christmas Day or the day after. I think it was
Yeah.
Christmas Day. Was full of gay guys.
Oh, good.
It was full of gay guys, like trying to get out of
Perfect.
Missouri, who had gone home to Missouri, and a lot of them
Yeah.
were on the New York flight.
Yeah.
So I had a guy sitting who was really cute. He was sitting like, you know, five
Yeah.
rows behind me.
Yeah.
Or no, I was sitting 5 rows behind him. So he kept having to go turn
He
around.
came back.
Finally, he came back and I said hi, and he was really cute, muscular. And I
Yeah.
said, "What's your name?" And he goes, "You really don't remember me."
Oh, what do you
And I
know?
go, "Oh," and he was like, "You really don't remember me? We spent a whole weekend in Fire Island together." And I was like,
Ah.
"Oh my
Oh,
god,
did you remember after that? Or you
yeah,
still didn't
yeah, oh yeah." Then I remembered who it was. I
remember
remembered who it was. So we went
that?
actually to his place. We took a
Yeah.
cab to, so that was the one shining moment of the.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
never went back after that. I
I
never
don't
went
blame you.
back. No,
Yeah.
and I was seeing a
I know
therapist.
lots of people that don't.
My therapist said, "Why did you
Yeah.
go? Why would you go?" And I said, "Because they paid for
You
it."
know
And
what? Hope springs eternal.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but
Well,
they paid
you
for it.
just hope that they paid for it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the way I would have done it. Yeah.
yeah. Because they were
Oh,
like,
that's so
we really want to surprise mom. So they didn't tell me that my brother was coming. If I knew my brother was coming, I wouldn't have come.
yeah.
So that was a
But they
whole,
wanted all of y'all to be there. That's the thing.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
So
you
I
know,
envy a family like yours.
I'm incredibly lucky. There's a lot of things I'm very lucky about. Some things not so lucky, but that one is I'm very lucky to have been born into that. I mean, it's
Yeah,
really 100% luck of the draw who you're born to.
yeah,
And I think there are many, many people who don't get to have a good family relationship and, um, or just tolerate each other. My sister in law's family talks about maybe they should do their own version of this, with their family, and they can't get it together. They can't figure it out. And she's estranged from one of her sisters too.
oh,
Uh, and her sister, well, it's just a long story, but so there's that, and I mean, every family has their issues that make them not be able to like have their thing go on.
yeah,
They
yeah,
can't get it together to do stuff like that, or they just don't enjoy each other, or they're too spread out, or there's always like a black sheep. No, there's all kinds of stuff. What I was gonna say too is eventually you need to get a found family as well.
yeah,
And that's I think that you do that pretty well. You can accumulate some found family, people that you're close to and people you can talk to. And you
yeah,
know one of our friends from high school, Jerry, he's an orphan. Now
yeah,
his folks are both gone. His brother was gone. He didn't have anybody else. He wasn't close to anybody else. And after his mom died, actually he got to know some of his other family. But he is one of the best people I know at gathering people together. And
yeah,
he's like a joiner. He knows everybody. He's everywhere you go with him, he'll go, "Hey, I know that guy."
yeah,
And I think that that's a real uh, a way to like make sure that you do have family around you is to find your own family and
yeah.
claim them. And
Yeah, I mean, I guess
that's
I've done that.
something.
I've also gone through this process of, as like, meow. Oh, she comes right here. She's like, meow, and she climbs up to the.
Yeah, she just wants attention.
I know. She was out on the deck looking at birds. Um,
Yeah,
I think that as yes, I hear you.
No,
um,
oh, there he is. Okay.
um, I think as you get older too. I don't know about you, but I think a lot of people that I was close to and was trying to hang on to and don't really communicate back, or they have
Right.
views that I don't, that I'm surprised they have, or stuff like that. It's just, I've just let them go.
Yeah.
I've just let them go. People that I have a couple of people I thought were really close, just, you know, they're too busy, or, they judge, or I don't know what they do, but I've just kind of, I don't need them anymore. And the people
Yeah.
that
They're
were
like,
with my opera company that folded, I still don't know what happened. Um, they don't want, they never had a meeting with me or anything. Anyway, I don't want them anymore because I'm not doing
yeah,
that.
no, you prune.
It's way too
Yeah.
much work.
No, I,
And
right.
I don't have anything to do with them. They were kind of my family. They were my work family, but it's like
Right.
there's people from New York, people from, that I don't associate with. There are people from New York who I've refound
Yeah.
who were jerks. A couple of them were jerks when we were in Fire Island, but now they've kind of, you know,
Mellowed.
and a lot of that is, especially with the guy who's my dentist, um, just like sitting down with them and saying,
Yeah.
look, you know what? We didn't get along. I'm not that person anymore. I don't think you're that person anymore, because he's like, I don't know, older than me. And I said, so, you know, can we just get past this?
Yeah.
Can you move past this? And he was like, oh, okay. And I said, because you're
Sure.
judging me on my past. And I said, and yeah, I was a bit of a flirt, and I was a bit of a wild guy, and blah, blah, blah. And I said, but that's what you want it to be, you know? That's what
Yeah.
you want it to be. And I said, so you were jealous, and I said, but it doesn't matter anymore.
No.
So,
Things get,
I talked to him, and I talked to a couple of other people from Fire Island, and it's age has something to do with it too. But there
you
are
bet.
people that I've just gotten rid of because
Yeah.
I don't want to try anymore. I don't want to try. And, one was really my best friend at work, and she was always too busy, and she had this, and she's always looking for a man, and and I was like, never mind. Never mind.
Yeah.
When I lived in New Jersey, I wanted to go see her in Long Island, and she kept canceling at the last minute.
Yeah.
She set up a couple of them, and then she would cancel, and I was like, forget it. So I totally
What's
like
the point?
deleted her from Facebook and from Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, I
Well,
don't
you
want.
have to prune. You have to prune people who don't fit in your lifestyle anymore.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what you're talking about. You're prune.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. But I do like the idea of giving people a second chance, kind of. I had this guy I dated in college or just right after college, and he was really, at that time, like, he just was really racist. I would say
oh,
racist things, and I was like, I can't be with this person. I mean, I didn't know that when I started dating him, obviously.
right,
It just kind of came out like, I can't be with this person. And his politics and mine didn't jibe, and lots of reasons. So we broke up, and then he got in touch with me late years later, when I lived here, and he came in town. He lives in Kansas City now, and he came in town, and we met for lunch. And I was like, whatever, if he's obnoxious, I'll just like say I got to go or whatever. And it turned out he's like completely changed. He worked in San Francisco at a predominantly African American church, and he talked about how he had to like make sure that he was welcoming to people so that they understood that he was open to them and whatever. And I was like, who are you? And what have you done with my
yeah,
ex? So, but it was nice to give him a second chance because he turned out to be kind of a cool guy.
yeah,
I don't know if that would have happened if we had been together, but like, so it's things like that where, and even like at I was also at my class reunion, which we talked about a little bit, but like sitting with people that I wasn't really friends with and I kind of knew, but I knew who they were, but I wasn't really friends with them. Sitting there going, I enjoy these people, it was all kinds of people. It was a guy who had the guy who was played the cello sat behind me every day of my life when I was in high school. Um, who was kind of a weird guy, but they like kind of have embraced him, and he's fine. He's great now, and all that stuff. And you just have to kind of go. Those things that were true in your past aren't necessarily true anymore. You
Yeah.
know, you're you're not that person, and neither you're not the same, and they aren't the same either. And it's okay to give them a chance. And if they don't step up to your standards that you would like to of people you want to hang out with, then it's okay to prune as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
You don't keep in touch with every person that you've ever known.
Well, now that I'm back with Mario, I think I told you we had to go. Oh, I didn't talk about this. Um,
Yeah,
we had to go to the funeral of his mother,
yeah, mom's
and
funeral. Hmm.
I was like uh, hesitant because these are people I haven't. My brother and sister-in-laws and the
Yeah,
nieces
yeah,
and nephews. I haven't seen them in a long time, so I didn't know how they would be and stuff like that.
yeah.
So the nieces and nephews were kind of a little bit hesitant, but and also when I knew them, two of them did not speak English.
Oh,
So I was
okay.
like, I don't know, but they all speak English now.
That's
So
good. Yeah,
because they're adults,
yeah.
they're adults. So uh, I was surprised by the first of all the sister-in-law. Well, I actually don't like either sister-in-law, but the sister-in-law that used to be the meanest to me was very welcoming and very like she doesn't really speak English, but she welcomed me and his brothers welcomed me, and the sister-in-law that I really don't like that I left her house once because she was being really rude, and she's a little nutty. She's an anti-vaxxer and an so
Oh,
uh, she just grabbed me and kissed me on each cheek. I didn't have a choice. So that was really weird. But his
it's her way.
cousin,
Oh,
yeah, his cousin
yeah.
Carmen came and we've stayed with her. She lives up north. So it's like a lot of snow. So, I sat and talked to her for a while. And then there were people who remembered me from a long time ago. And there were people, his cousins, and then his boss came, Mary Claude. So I
Oh,
really
that's
like
cool.
her. She's the head of the charity organization. She's also a lawyer. So she was really fun. So
Hmm.
it was like I was sort of, hesitant, a little scared, but
Apprehensive. Yeah,
it all turned out okay.
yeah,
It all turned out okay.
yeah, yeah.
It's you know,
Yeah. Most things do. You know, if you
yeah.
if you give it a chance.
I mean, there were a couple of people like this priest I really don't like, who doesn't like that I don't speak French. So,
You bet.
I have spoken it to him in French, but
Yeah.
he doesn't like that people speak English to me. He thinks that's wrong. So, you're in Quebec, you should
Weird.
speak French. And it's like, there's plenty of people in Quebec that speak English, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I really didn't like talking to him. And there were a couple of other people. But for the most part, I was really surprised by and my nephew, uh, Gabrielle, has this girlfriend, uh,
Mhm.
and he has a baby. So I'm another great uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah, great uncle.
Yeah. Very good
Um,
uncle.
yeah, and the baby's really cute, and he
Yeah.
is. He grew up to be totally gorgeous. He looks like Ryan
Yeah.
Gosling.
Oh
That's what
wow.
he
Yeah.
looks like. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Uh, and
Yeah. You
then
never know. The weirdest looking kids can grow up to be really
yeah,
good looking.
yeah, yeah. Well, he's like a guy. He liked when he was little. He liked video games. He liked
Yeah.
snowmobiles. He liked dirt bike riding.
Yeah.
He was always doing something, fixing something, and stuff like that. And so now he's just like, wow.
It's cool.
You're
Yeah.
like, wow.
You grew up cool. Yeah.
You wrote, wow. So, and then his sister Carolyn, she has a boyfriend who's really cute, and she really grew up because she was always so
Yeah.
tiny.
Yeah.
She was also tiny and thin. So um, anyway, there's a story about her. I'll just tell it real quick. When she
Okay.
was really little, she walked into the
Uh-huh.
woods and they couldn't find her for like, I don't know,
Oh.
11 hours or something. They couldn't find her.
Oh gosh.
When they found
Oh,
her,
crap.
and she said this being, this spirit, pulled her into the woods and walked her through the woods. So she's,
Scared.
they think it's an alien or something, but took her by the hand, didn't pull her, took her by the hand and walked her through the woods. And she
That's
can't
crazy.
remember anything else.
Except that. Oh, that's
Yeah.
very weird.
Isn't
Yep.
that weird? Yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, all right. So that is our episode for the
It,
week. Um, our
yeah.
family episode, good families, bad
And
families,
we
make
will.
your own family kind of thing. And we
Yeah.
will see you next week. I'm Buck.
Again, I'm Amy, and we'll see you soon.
Okay. Bye.